Hi guys, it's I am back again, and this is going to be my introduction to my new project pan, which is going to be a project pan roulette. It's effectively going to be a 50 pan. I realise I'm not centered in the screen, and I actually don't really care too much. Sorry. I'm filming at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning or something. It's cold and windy and terrible. I only have one light, so the lighting is not great, but I wanted to get this filmed while I actually feel like filming. Um, so, what I did is I have actually ended all of my other projects. I'm not actually going to do like finales on those unless people really, really want me to. I just kind of, yeah, things were not working out particularly well, and it was basically making me feel really unsuccessful and a failure, basically, which is not really something that I need at this particular point in my life. So I decided to rework it and basically do one bigger project. I'm basically just going to start with probably 10 products, and then every time I use one up, I will draw another product to add, and try to use like 50 products over the course of the rest of the year. I'm going to set myself what I consider to be very reasonable goals. Some people might think they're more gimme type goals for some things, but my whole aim is to be successful and to feel good about being successful. So there'll be, a certain amount of challenge, but not so much that I make it impossible for myself or put too much pressure on myself. So there will be things that my goals on them will be fairly minor, but it could be that I just need to use them in some way. A lot of my goal is to actually go through as many products as I can for the rest of the year, and start to really go through my collection. I'm really bad at decluttering, especially if I'm not really sure I like something or not, because I've never used it, or I haven't used it very much. So this is sort of a way of using products and then determining whether or not I like them. So at the end of, when I've reached my goal on each product, I should be able to determine whether or not I like the product or not. If I like it, I'll put it back in my collection. If I don't like it, then I can get rid of it and not feel like I've wasted too much money, because I've at least tried it and, have a better idea of whether that product's going to actually work for me and my skin and my colouring and all that kind of stuff. And I may well find myself finding products that really just don't work for me because they're completely the wrong colour. Like, I was looking at an eyebrow thing I've got today, and the mark on the back of my hand, that's what colour it is. I'm like, that is just, and it's supposed to be like a tattoo one that's supposed to stay on for like 7 days. Like, and that is way, way too dark for my colouring. So I am probably going to pass that on to somebody who has darker hair than me, because it looks almost black on the back of my hand. It's actually dark brown, but it looks almost black on my hand. I don't think that's going to work. So what I have done for this particular project is I went on to Meg's Makeup 8's blog post, blog thing. I'll link it down below, and I'll link her channel too, because she did Finish 24 by July the 4th, I think it was, which was a project pan roulette type one, and she had written down all the different categories she used. I think she had like 100 different options or something. I went through those. I used quite a few of hers, and then I added some extras in of my own, because she didn't have any about primers and stuff, which, I have primers I want to use up. So I added a few, and I subtracted a few, and basically I just did a whole bunch of them. I'm not sure exactly how many are in here. But then I put them all in this little jar thing, and I will draw 10 or 15. It probably will depend on what the first 10 that come out are. If I think they're going to be kind of challenging, then I might not pick anymore. Yeah, that is sort of my goal. I'm also contemplating doing a 13 by Halloween, mainly because that's about 3 months. So, but I haven't 100% decided yet. I think I'm probably just going to do this one because I really just need to feel successful at the moment. So I am going to draw out some of these little darlings, and then I will go and find them, and then yeah, we will look at what my goals are going to be for each of those products. So without further ado, they're kind of like really crammed in there at the moment, so just going to dig down a little bit. And the first one I pulled out. Okay, what does this say? A face moisturizer. Might be a bit hard to see. My lights are terrible, and it doesn't want to show. But that's what it says. The camera doesn't like me doing that. Face moisturizer. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, number two is a mystery sample product. Okay, I have lots of those. Number three, body wash. Okay, that one might be a bit difficult to go collect at 3 o'clock in the morning. Number four, high-end product. Okay. Number five, YouTube hyped. I don't have a lot of YouTube hyped video products, but I do have a few. Really not very many at all. Number six, product almost used up. I have a lot of those as well. Number seven, body lotion. Okay. Ridiculously bad at using body lotions, and I'm not sure how many I've got. Probably not a lot. Something less than $2. Okay, so what do we have? 8. Number 9 is a deluxe sample. Well, that's good. 2 sample products. That makes it nice and easy to fit. 2 stuck together here. Number 9, a lip balm. Okay. Except that was number 10 because I apparently cannot count. I have this really nicely lined up at the moment, so I'm actually going to pick 4 more, which will take me to 14, which is a nice number. So number 11 is favourite foundation. That might just be a random foundation because I really don't have a favourite. Number 12 is a matte product. Okay. Number 13 is favourite hand cream. Okay. That won't be very hard. And the last one is favourite eyeshadow. Again, that's actually not going to be very easy because I don't really have a favourite eyeshadow. Go figure. Okay, so I have pulled out my 14 items. I'm going to go and look for them and then I will be back. Okay, guys, I's back. So I have gone around and looked at things, and here are the things that I have chosen. I have them all lined up in front of me. Some of these have never ever been used before. So obviously my goals on those are not going to be the same as some other products. Yeah, so sample product. So the sample product I am going to use is this Little sample perfume. This is Harvey Prince's Damask Rose. Although it looks like I've used quite a bit, I don't remember using any at all. It's a nice enough smell. I'm not really a big perfume user, but you know, I'll make myself use it. Reminds me a little bit of Youth Dew, which is one of my favourite fragrances ever, although it is uber expensive. Yeah, so that is my sample product. That is one that I'm actually going to use it up. Okay, deluxe sample product is going to be this treatment oil for hair from Neon and Co. I got this in one of my sample boxes. It's not 100% full, but I've never actually used this, so it's like there right now. In terms of like an oil, because I do tend to use these quite a bit, I'm using a different one at the moment, so I can just swap it out and use this one instead. I will probably aim to use all of this because it's only 30ml. It'll probably take me a little while, but yeah. And it's safety sealed, so I can tell that none came out of it. They just didn't quite fill it to the top. Yeah, so that is my deluxe sample item. Face moisturiser. This one isn't even out of the box. This is the Suntivity 30 Plus Ultra Light Fluid for Face. With face products like these, there's a possibility that I'll have to swap them out. It depends on what they use for their SPF in them. I think it's Dove, or one of them, uses something in their SPF or their like sun protection, which tends to make my face react super bad. So yeah, assuming that this doesn't do anything, it says it's supposed to be good for sensitive skin or oily skin, so it should be fine. Not supposed to block pores, oil free, etc, etc. Because this is brand new, I'm not exactly sure how much is in here because it came in a sample box and I hadn't even taken it out of the box. It's not a huge container. It's another 30ml one, so I think I'll probably aim to use all of this one up because it's only 30ml and it's something that I can use every day without really trying too hard. This is the problem I have, is when I have to use stuff that I don't ordinarily use every single day. Body wash. I was thinking, oh my god, I can't get in the bathroom and grab the body wash I'm currently using. Just as well, I'm the kind of person who has more than one body wash on the go at one time. Because I realised that sitting right next to my area was this Organic Care Fig and Papaya Nourishing Body Wash. So I will add this one into rotation because, you know, I already have two in the shower. And because I get bored with scents really, really quickly, so I tend to use a different one, like each week kind of thing, or each day. So because this is brand spanking new, my goal for this particular project is going to be to get down to where my finger is right now. It says Fig, is to get down to where Fig is. So it's just under half because it gets wider at the bottom, but it's about half of it. So I'm not aiming to use up the whole thing, just about half of it. Body lotion. Because I was looking through my samples, I actually found one in my samples. This is the Urban Skincare & Co. Repair and Body Balm. I've had this for ages. I haven't opened it. It's 35ml. I think if I put it in the bathroom, I can use it up. And I've just realised, what has it got in it? I think it's the coriander, which is not like my favourite smell. There's a couple of like those herbally type smells I really don't like very much, but I figure if I use it on my body and then put perfume on, might not be able to notice it so much. Yeah, so because it's only 35ml, if I use it on my body, it should, and it's actually only full up to about there anyway. I should be able to use up all of that and it shouldn't take too long. Okay, favourite hand cream. My favourite hand cream is what I'm using currently. I've only just started it. The main reason I love this stuff is because it smells so good. This is the Grace Cole hand lotion in pineapple and passion fruit. You can see this is a massive container. I love the smell of this. Now the thing is this is a very thin kind of hand cream, so you don't use very much because it spreads like really well. And as you can see, I'm like all the way up there. So my goal for this is actually still going to be quite challenging. It'll take me a while. Is to get down to here where it says hand lotion, which is really hard for you guys to see, but it is about there. And I've been using this for, I've used this I think for 2 weeks now. So that is still going to take a little bit of time, but I love the smell of this stuff. I have a lip balm in the same fragrance and I love it to death. So it's not going to be any stressor to use because I really like using it anyway. So that's all good. Favourite eyeshadow. This is a little bit challenging because I have so much eyeshadow and I don't really have favourite eyeshadows. So what I decided to do was to pull out this palette. That's Heart palette. Now I won this from Monica the Diva. She is now called Faven Araya, I think it is. I'll leave her channel link down below. And the reason I'm picking this is because it's got a whole bunch of eyeshadows in it, and I'll show you the one I'm going to aim to hit pan on. I'm picking it because it came from somebody that I care about, so it was fave in that kind of way, in that it has emotional meaning behind it, because she's my friend. So I'm going to be super duper boring. And I'm going to pick this shadow right here. No, not that one. This one right here. It's this light, slightly sparkly colour that I can use as an all-over kind of lid colour. So my goal is just going to be to hit pan in that. I don't actually know how deep those pans are. So this is a BH Cosmetics one, in case you are actually wondering. Yeah, so that shadow there, I'm going to attempt to hit pan on it. Okay, whoops. YouTube hyped. Again, this was kind of hard because, like, while I have some products that I bought because YouTube told me to, I don't know if they're necessarily hyped or not. And a lot of the stuff that is hyped I don't buy because it's hyped. However, I do have the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, which is a YouTube staple, and I've never used mine. Mine is brand new. I've only taken the plastic off of it. Never touched the skin of this thing. Yeah, so it is brand spanking new. Just looking at the packaging because I've never actually looked at it. So, because this is like a jumbo pencil, and I don't do makeup very often at the moment, my goal is just going to be to get down to the top of where it says NYX. Now, I realise that is really not very much, it's just a small amount, but you don't generally need to use a lot, and yeah, that's going to be my goal, is just to use that. And by then I should have determined whether I think it's actually worth the amount that people say it's like best product ever. I will determine for myself whether I believe that or not. The next product was the lip balm. This is a brand new Burt's Bees pink grapefruit moisturising lip balm. haven't even taken the safety seal off of it. And of course it doesn't want to open. Let's get out my handy dandy knife, because I have these things lying around next to me. I'm on my work table, so like work as in nails work. Not that I really work that much, but I do occasionally. Yeah, so this is in pink grapefruit. Absolutely brand spanking new. Yeah. I prefer my lip balm in this kind of container rather than in like the pot, like my Grace Cold one. I think I'm probably just going to use this either until it's all gone or until I've hit my 50 products, because it's like an everyday kind of item. It's not something that's like a huge issue or anything. You know, and always need lip balm, so this one is probably I'm just gonna attempt to use it up. Yeah, so that's that one. Favourite foundation. I don't really have a favourite foundation. I have lots of foundations, I just don't use very many of them, so I don't know if they're favourites or not. So what I thought I would just do is put in my W7 photo shoot foundation, which was when I was working on in my last project. Apparently I figured I was down around about there, so just under halfway. So I'm going to attempt to use this up, just so I can move on to something else, basically. So that is the foundation high-end product. Well, this one could be challenging. The high-end product I decided to put in is this MAC lipstick. This is not one of my bold MAC lipsticks. My other 3 MAC lipsticks would be a completely different matter. This one is Vegas Volt. It is a kind of slightly pinky orange, like a dark coal kind of colour, which is, yeah, it's bright, but for me, I prefer a bright lipstick anyway, so, and it will match quite well with one of the other products that I've put in here as my something that costs less than $2. Well, the something that costs less than $2 is this blusher duo from LOL. This is literally $1. These cost $1, and they're actually pretty good for $1. That's the dark one, and they're pretty pigmented for $1. For $1 for 2 blushes. So what I am going to attempt to do is actually hit pan in the lighter shade rather than in the darker shade, but it still works quite well with that. It's got the sort of that peachy tone that should work quite well with the lipstick. The product that is almost used up, kind of cheating here, but anyway, is my Estee Lauder Sumptuous Extreme Mascara in Extreme Black. This is more than 3 months old now. It was in my last project, and I said I was going to throw it out at the end of the project, but I haven't, and the reason I haven't is because this is a super, super, super wet mascara, and it is still really, really good. I mean, if I used mascara every single day, it would probably only last me 3 months, but I don't use mascara every single day, so that's why things take me so much longer. So I am just going to use this until it starts to do what most mascaras eventually do, which is what tells me it's time to get rid of them, is they start to flake or they start to transfer down here on my eye, and when they do that I throw them out because that really pisses me off. And for the matte product, I have this sample of the Honolulu bronzer from W7. This I got in like a little kit with all these other products from them, and it is a matte bronzer. Let's pulling slightly orange on camera, but it is actually not too bad. It should be fine. I think it's going to be light enough that it's not actually going to be an issue with my, pale princess colouring. So that is the first 14 products for my new Project Pan Roulette. If you want to subscribe so you can see how I go with this particular project, then just click the subscribe button down there. Leave me a thumbs up if you like Project Pan, Project Roulette type videos. If you're doing one yourself and you don't know if I'm watching you or not, then leave me a comment down below to let me know, and leave me a comment anyway because I try to respond to all comments. And I will see you in my next video. See ya.